Today is Thursday, October 3rd, and this is the Mayor and City Council Planning Meeting.
That's where it's all at, too. The thing, I'll wait till I get you. The thing that we're gonna be our savior this year, though, as far as money, we do not have a payment on, sewer at all. Cause the notes got combined and they're being paid out of water. And sales tax for water's paying that. The extra sales tax that's coming on water, because you don't have two of your note payments, is coming in and is not there. And then all the revenue in water and sewer is not tied to anything till you do the sewer law. You didn't know that yet, so, we're looking at this, we'll go through it in more detail.
I can move.
When you get to tell me you both know how. Fair enough.
Yes, we don't know everything that we need to,
You doing okay?
and everybody, we need to sit down and look at the financials, because we just didn't, we hadn't looked at them. We're spending a lot of money on the budget and sewer big time. Well, let's get in there. There's 300,000 in maintenance that's put in the budget, 300,000 in sewer, and we're way over. This, I'll have to get there and see what we're over. Everything else is pretty much, we're running pretty close. You're not going. Huh?
I think that's where you're I seen him come in the door, so I get in the chair, so. But if you want me to put it over there, we'll do it.
Alan?
Put him over in a corner?
Well, if that's what you say, I mean, great.
Yeah, the sewer maintenance, we spent $590,000 so far. We had 300,000 in water, 300,000 in sewer, and we only spent 200,000 in water, but we've got another pump to buy. We're gonna be right at the 300,000 in sewer, or water by the time we get to it, we're gonna be. Sewer's gonna be, got another $150,000 in sewer to get everything done. But we should be, everything should be up to date. Everything that's at the sewer plant's completely rebuilt. I mean, everything. Water plant hasn't been rebuilt, it's been worked on, but you're gonna have that maintenance on it every year. You got one new pump in right there, that's one of the big little. All right, everybody's here. This is just a planning session, so we're not gonna do all the other stuff. We're just gonna get right into planning session. Jason's I thought the first thing we look at, if it's all right with you guys, I don't wanna go over the 2 months that y'all tabled, because I've got this month's balance sheet. If y'all wanna look back further, the 2 months back, when Jason gets through, we get through going over this month, August. I've got the 2 months here in this folder. If we need to go back and look further back, the 2 months that y'all had approved, at the council meeting, y'all approved 3 months. But we need time to go over these. We don't go over them very much in the council meeting, so that's why I want to have a planning session, so we can kind of go over, make sure everybody understands where we are. We've got some new councilmen, we've got a new board of treasurer, and try to explain some of where the financing is coming from in water and sewer, because it's a lot different. And then we also need to discuss the projects, the street project we got coming up, and we've got to discuss the park project we got coming up. Because I've got some more numbers we got to throw at you on that. The council kind of agreed on one thing there in May, I don't know what we'll do. So, Jason, you know of a guy than me, you wanna start with the financials, and let's just start looking, we're gonna look at August 31st, 2024 totals. We'll go back the other 2 months, when we get through that, we can go back the other 2 months. At the council meeting, you're gonna need to approve 3 months. You're gonna need to approve, June, July, and August. But we're just gonna go over August, if you'll go further back, we'll go further back. We'll just take them 1 month at a time.
The balance sheet for the general fund, and I don't have a comparison with what it was last year, so I have no idea. But
Next page, you missed this one.
on the balance sheet,
Mhm.
That's, okay, that's okay.
we got P&L comparison, we don't have a balance sheet comparison, which we can do that. We ain't got that right now, so. Total assets, $146,513, you see that's all, cash, and there's one checking CDs. So your, in city funds, basically what's retained earnings in the railroad is your net balance, or statement of net assets, so that's, our net assets are 546. We're showing a net loss year to date, 17,212.
And one thing that will play on that, your expenses are here for the full year, but your property tax
Right.
is not all in yet. So that's really not, that may not be unusual, Brenda, because we still, our biggest part of the property tax has not come in yet, because it's not due till October.
Biggest part coming in
Yeah,
November.
15, so we're always gonna run behind till that comes in, and that should balance, that should get us close back up on income.
If you look at just August numbers, we didn't lose as much as we did last year. Just August, that's the next 2 pages. Income was up 10 grand approximately. Our expenses were a little
Page
less,
on the
actually.
bottom, the circle thing.
2 and 3. I'm just going straight through.
All right, I see it, thank you.
And one thing that's different in this, Jason hasn't been here before, but one thing that's different in this budget this year, the sales tax that you broke down on the half cent, you remember we put a percentage in the fire department, percentage in, that $902 a month, that's your breakdown. So you're putting that money's getting in the account that we used to not have, so that's coming in every month. Right, Brandon?
Right.
Yeah, it
The
was basically, for clarification, it was reallocating the money, that it was a reallocation of the current existing taxes that were already.
That's exactly what we told the taxpayers we'd do with the money, and we're doing it by percentage, that
Yeah.
percentage every month, so that changes, but where that percentage is stays the same.
Yeah,
And that's exactly what we told the people when they voted on the taxes. So that's where that extra income's coming, that total $10,000 is really coming from that, it's everything else is about the same.
Police receipts were up $2,200. So year to date, which would be the next 2 pages,
hey, your number 4 and 9.
that would be correct. That comes out to 2 and 3. I know we gotta help you out. Got a loss of 17,000, whereas last year we had $43,000.
I know you didn't get this far on looks.
But this year, the big one, there's $30,000 to Lofty. Wasn't there last year?
And we've gotta get that where that number goes in every year. They've been taking the money and putting it in 1 year's budget, dividing it from next year, and then having double up the next year. That money's hitting us every year. We need that in the budget. Wherever it's at every year, that's an expense that's every year. We don't need to do it once every 2 years.
Is that police or
Now, in here, it'll be both.
Both, yeah.
At this point, it'll break down on in the sheets as you go on, but right here it's going.
Look at the other stuff, it's material differences, IT contract with the police, insurance and health insurance for the police, those are up.
We have one more option. That's what it's good
Again, you see the, as far as income, those top four, which weren't there last year, they're this year. So was it 46,000 more sales tax income?
Would like to note too also with just basic math, inflation is gonna automatically increase our revenue, it might not increase our net.
Increase expenses too.
Correct, but it'll
It'll
look like
increase
we're
it.
bringing in more taxes when in reality, we're doing, you know, so that's something that's often overlooked. They think, oh, we're bringing all kind of taxes, well, it's cost us more shipping, it's cost us more everything else.
Looks like we had a grant for the police, which was about 27,000 more than it was the one that was gotten last year.
And that won't be there next year, because the cops grant, eight cities in the whole state got the cops grant. If you're in a high crime city, you didn't get it. And only 8 cities, 8 officers got funded in the whole state on the cops grant this year.
4 of them was one school.
4 of them was where?
One school.
So nobody got any of those grants this year.
To correlate with the police grant income, police grant expenses are up about $30,000. It's pretty well washed in the bottom line there. Salaries, or police salaries are about 30,000 more than we have other officers. Fire supplies, 9,000 more. Police supplies, 5,000 more. I'm using round numbers here.
Yeah. I can tell. That's fine.
I'm not gonna,
I think so.
unless y'all want me to go to the penny.
No.
I can't do that in my head very long anymore, or at least that's quick, so. Police vehicle expense and fire expense, both of those are up. In 26, so 14,000.
On police vehicle expense, when I took over as mayor, we had 2 vehicles parked that were, well, one of them had 40,000, one had 55,000 miles on that park. I fixed them. So we just parked them, hoping to get another grant. There wasn't much wrong with either one of them. That's 2 vehicles fixed. So you're gonna spend $8,000 to get 2 vehicles back on the road, which was, I never did understand.
How many police vehicles do we have now? Rick?
5.
Of which Brenda's using one of them.
No,
That's
We
a
got
city.
5.
no, that one has no, that's basically a city.
Okay. So we got 5 vehicles.
We got 2 cars and 3 trucks?
We got 2 trucks,
2 trucks
a Durango,
and 2 cars.
and a Charger, and then a Ford Expedition.
I thought we had 2 Chargers.
No, the other Charger is city car.
We transferred it over
That's
to
what Brenda
city.
drives to court.
They drive it, some of the city guys going to classes and stuff, they drive it. Instead of the city trucks, they take the Charger.
That pretty well sums up the year-to-date stuff. And explains the essentially $60,000 difference. And you get the budget, which are the next 2 pages out, on pages 6 and 7.
You know, your measurements looking now,
Can't help it sometimes. Again, looks like the top 4 lines weren't there last year. Looks like we budgeted for the first 3 10 apiece, 35 for the police. And I presume that this budget is for the whole year.
Correct.
not
Yeah, the
just
budget will be
August.
for the
So-
year.
So if you look at anything that's in the 75% range, you're tracking pretty well with budget. If it's a lot lower, a lot more, like, building vendor permits is at 372%. So that's $4,600, but still percentage wise, it's not a huge number, isn't it? Same on community room rent, 162%. Police grants, budgeted 42, got 57. Interest income budget 2, got 47. Police receipts budgeted 48, and only have 27, so that's what we're
That may come in because Brenda doesn't pay that every month, that gets paid 2, 3 times a year, right?
On what?
The money, the police receipts.
It's
doesn't
every
get-
month.
It is every month, so
Uh-huh.
we're behind for the year.
75%.
Do we have
We've got a couple of grants. We've got
We're
two sheriffs now.
Mhm.
paying.
We're at almost 10 grand.
You had one you come for.
Do you have a grant
I'm
that's
not sure
$9,000?
what it
I just got a check from the state for 9,000. HTRP grant,
I remember last time we applied for them, that's good.
look and see, I need to know.
What happened with the whole?
They worked on a pump, I believe, you'd have to, there's no quote on it, and I think that's what happened, is they had a pump that worked on it. I believe, fire department expense, didn't we work on a pump?
Yeah,
And I think that's where most of that expense comes
Property tax, like you mentioned, looks like it's way down, but
in. It should,
Yeah.
it'll probably catch up,
Yeah.
I would say, for not.
Yeah,
In real time.
I paid mine at October the 10th at $4.59.
That's a big money.
no time you got the 15.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got it.
15th, the 15th at $4.59.
Use body 4 days.
Thank you. I told my brother, I said, you better get up there and pay your taxes. I said, tomorrow's the last day. And he said, I get one chance a year to have my name in the paper and I'm taking it.
That 10% penalty wasn't they too sweet? But anyway.
Animal control expenses are down. Fire equipment repairs are up quite a bit. Health insurance overall is down, or is under, so is, police health insurance and other insurance. I'm just gonna look at the ones that are just way out of whack. Police legal expense.
What is that?
I couldn't answer this.
Brenda, can you tell me?
what is it?
Where it says legal police, you're up you're up $1,900 on that.
I think we had to have some legal advice with our attorney the first of the year. I'm trying to think of,
Is that not that, what's it called? It covers, trying to think what it's called, right?
Retainer, probably you're
It's a
talking.
legal service for the officer, is what it is. I
Yeah.
can't think of the name of it right now.
I can't either, is it,
Okay.
I can't think of what the name of that is.
No, EB.
Oh, yeah.
We just did.
Is this not a fee we're paying to a law firm to, so y'all make a phone call?
It is it's a fee to, I got it right there.
So-
It's a law firm that say an officer gets sued or something, they're supposed to protect the city, the officer, or whatever.
Okay.
That'll need to be in budget next year.
Yeah, we just need to fix that, so that's one thing that I'm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's PB, I'm right there, but I can't get it.
I know, I'm trying to think what the name of
I'll
it
spit
is.
it out tomorrow.
I just had to check.
It's different.
Yeah, West.
I don't understand why it's different. It's a different.
PDA.
clause.
The PDA,
I think it is.
What's this right here, what's the maintenance? Is that maintenance period, everything or certain?
That-
General city, that's not.
That, probably a lot
I
of that's.
don't know,
gonna
that don't
come
sound
apart.
right.
Yeah, you're right.
We spent a lot of foot part.
The park's got a lot of money booked in it this year.
Yeah, so, and then the other day, Billy had to go back over there because somebody tore apart the seesaw, took it apart, so he had to go put that back there.
What's the numbers?
We got police membership of a couple grand.
Police membership, what all are we paying them there? I know that's fees that some years hit you and some years it don't.
Yeah, some, the Chiefs Association, we have member bid,
And somewhere else you go.
and then there's your membership fees. I know Chiefs Association, we pay that.
oh, Justice,
Justice Fund, ITA. To the Justice Department, we have membership
it's on Little
fee.
Rock, it's the training.
I think some of it doesn't matter of where you're putting it in
Yeah.
the budget.
I think it's $1,000 a year or something like that.
I think so.
That's over, it's under, on the line.
CJI.
I think we're gonna have to have
Huh?
some distinction.
CJI.
CJI.
To the same account.
What is the police grant?
You pay Karen Barlow to do those.
Oh, is that's, okay.
Those grants are not free.
And I would presume it's whatever was bought with grant funds, I would presume it went into that. Cause there's $50,000 worth of grant money.
Right.
Yeah. Where that money was.
And she gets a fee for
All I
each one
know
of
is
those grants.
before we started doing business with her, we wouldn't, we was getting turned down on everything and once we
Oh,
started.
yeah.
If you get a grant written, you're gonna pay a fee,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's not part of, it's not free. Those guys don't work for
Way to
nothing.
go. Sure.
We won't talk about that anymore, we can, I'm gonna skip pages 8 through whatever and go to page 49, which is the water and sewer department. Cause all that other stuff is just detailed.
Personally, if you guys are cool with this, with, next, when you take over, the detail is gonna be attached in your computer. So if you wanna see the detail, you can go to the computer and look at it. Are y'all looking at this detail sheet? You can look at it on the computer when,
I do if I see something that just.
well, but he's
Sticks
gonna,
out, yes, but no.
next, starting in November, that's gonna be in your computer. So you can go in there and type in, you're gonna type in a code for whatever it is in the budget, and pull every invoice right up. Every invoice that expense comes from is, you can look at actual invoice, not the check number. So if y'all are okay with that, I would like to see those, not next month, but November, when we start doing it, getting everything in the computer system, it'll all tie into your sheet, and you can just click, you won't just get a receipt number, you can look at the actual invoice. And y'all have access to all that. I reckon for viewing, that'll be accessible to anybody that wants it. I mean, it'd be, if John Blow Public wants to look at it, it's gonna be there. It's not there now, so don't go looking at it right now. That's one of the things we're gonna get to change.
Yeah.
You going sanitation, or you going?
Yeah, we're going to street, page 28, I believe, in that's the next page.
The detail, I don't think, once we get where we're trying to go with the computer, y'all are gonna have to have that printout on that, because you're gonna have, go look at it, go into the, but we'll put budget, actual budget to expense, maybe first year before that comes. All right?
We're not gonna eat the elephant one time.
Huh?
So we're not gonna eat the elephant one time. Just bear with us.
So on 28,
Page 28 looks like the street fund's the next. Total assets are a little over $1.4 million, it's all cash, CDs and checking account. Looks like the street fund actually did positive. Look at the P&L on the next page for just for August, pretty good loss there compared to last year. And appears that we spent a lot of money on the sidewalk project,
We did.
$99,000, which is where essentially all the difference.
The thing that we've gotta do on that, we're gonna have to put some money in the budget this year. That street money, you budget sometimes 3 years ahead, and you don't spend the money till the next year's budget, or 2 years budget later on. So you gotta go back and look at, sometimes as far as 3 years back on that. Now, that street money's over this time on sidewalks, it went over. But normally those things are in 2 or 3 years budgets, and they're not spent till 1 year. And one other thing that the auditor wanted to talk, she just said as a friendly warning, we'll probably have a full audit next year in general fund, because you'll probably go over $750,000 expense in 1 year. Any class 2 city that goes over $750,000 expense, no matter what, in a department, which general fund is street, general fund's gonna be the same thing, it'll probably trigger a full audit, which is nothing. So they're gonna look at 10% of your files instead of 2%.
Instead of only 2 years of time, we're gonna do,
1 year.
which means
It's what they've warned us about. That's fine with us. There's nothing, not gonna be anything different other than don't get excited. They just do a 1 year big off full off.
their sample size of their larger numbers. Essentially, they all the same thing. But anyway, page 30, year to date. Year to date, we do have net income compared to last year with a huge loss, which is sidewalks, drainage culverts. Gonna be the higher expenses from last year.
Brenda,
Engineering fees.
correct me if I'm wrong on that. That goes back, I wasn't here, all that, but that goes back 3 years budgets.
Yes, we
And
were.
so you had income showing that wasn't spent in 2 year prior budgets. And the way the state makes you do the audit, that's not new income, even though it's a
You
new
get carried
expense.
over, yeah.
But it was budgeted, a lot of that money was budgeted in 2 year ago budgets. You'd have to go back. It's not like it looks, it's like it looks because that's the way the state makes you do paperwork, but you can't pick up last year's money and put back in your budget this year. You can spend it, it's gonna look just like this, but you can't put it back in the budget unless
You can't call it income.
you can't call it income again. You call it income in the year it come in, and then you got expense 2 years later. Okay?
There was more income last year,
Yeah,
$300,000, which is government grant.
that was one of them.
Fixed asset purchases, I don't know, 32,000, some dollars, I don't know what that.
That would be the skid steer and, equipment that went with it. What else did we buy? We bought a skid steer and we bought, brush,
No trailer, didn't we?
and part of the trailer expense will go on that, yeah, all that. The trailer expense, all that got in some of each department, but that's where that was spent.
And we had basically hardly no income to offset that, like, wasn't trading in a 15-mile truck for a 17, or anything like that. It was like, you know, what we had was total salvage, you know, starting from scratch,
Okay?
Budget
Cheaper for coin.
is on the next page, 31, and we're over budget as far as net income goes, so income is, we're at 83% of the budget, so I'd say we're tracking. Total expense is about 80%, so we're tracking, I would say decently. There. And we can skip on over to page 40, which is the sanitation fund. $932,517 in CDs and money market account.
Yeah, it was.
In August, we had a net income of $73.9. Total income about the same, expenses about the same, not much change from last year. Year to date, we are over we were last year at this time. Like income's about the same, but we're missing, looks like there was a $35,000 purchase last year, fixed asset purchase. So that's most of the
Well, that
difference.
was the mini X.
You had the mini X and you had the skid steer and all the equipment that went with it in the last 2 years.
And wages are down about 10, so that's the difference there with budget. Looks like we're a little under tracking on income and expenses, about halfway budget. Now we go on to the big one. Water and sewer, page 49.
Insurance workers' comp, is that something we paid? We have one.
It'll pay one time a year. It's ready to, workers' comp doesn't pay it once a year, right?
Right.
So you'll get an audit on that and you'll pay it once a year.
It's in-
It's gonna be in every department, if you're looking, it's missing everywhere, but you'll pay that, the municipal league bills you that one premium a year. They audit you, on your payroll, and then you pay it. They don't make you pay it every month, which is
Well,
nice.
since the last year was zero, this year it's 6,000.
That's in the budget, because it don't be there. Sometimes they don't get it paid till after the first of the year, and you get it, that gets you screwed up in your budget. If you build it and don't get paid in January the 3rd, then you may get hit, next year you may get double.
It's in the budget.
Yeah.
It's in the budget, it will be, it's an expense, it's gonna happen, whether it happens before the end of the year, whether it happens in next year's budget, and you make your next year's
Yeah,
budget
that's
for
what
the
it
credit,
is.
it's gonna get paid.
I just couldn't.
All right,
I
water and
couldn't do
sewer.
that one. The ribbons,
Total assets, $18 million, $404 of that is in some form of cash, CDs, checking accounts. And a lot of that is spoken for money, thanks to the loans, all that stuff.
I have something we need to look at right there, I think, on cash and bank revenue. That is not in CDs right there, or is that in CDs?
no, that's in our revenue fund
I
account.
think we need to look at moving a CD at the next meeting and buy another CD there. There's no, Brandon, we don't need anywhere near that kind of money in there, do we?
Well, sometimes I'll get it down, when y'all are spending a lot of money in operation and maintenance, I put 300,000 a month over from that. So, you could probably put,
500?
I'd say 4, just in case some emergency comes up in operation and maintenance, you have to have it there to roll
Y'all
a
need to
check
put down
over.
what y'all are gonna do. We can buy some more CDs right there.
What you do is roll it into operation and maintenance and buy your CD out of operation and maintenance.
Y'all wanna put that on the book so Jason can get you a rate on your CD, the $400,000 that was on the vote on? And Jason can have us a rate for, at the meeting,
I'll give you.
okay?
Yeah,
Do 400, that move 400,000. The thing about, looking at the money right now in the water and sewer, it looks like we're filthy rich because when we redid the bond issue last year, we're paying on our old bonds. And right now, we haven't got the water project started, we don't have the sewer project started. So we've got two big bonds that are coming up. One will be about $1 million, the other will be about $4 million. It's gonna come up and hit us on, it'll probably be, if we're under construction right now, it'll be 2.5 years before you saw the first payment on it. So right now, you're gonna have a windfall of what looks like money that's not, because we don't have the payments, and since we've restructured, the payments won't hit us till we gotta get a job done and complete, and neither one of them are started. So, but you're gonna have some money that's gonna be extra in that department for close to 3 years. And that's gonna grow for 3 years.
The 4 natural resources loans that we have pull out of the revenue account. One's 13,800, the other one's 8,000, some odd, but those pull every month
Revenue account.
out of the revenue account.
All right.
So we're gonna look at all the liabilities, you know, what we're talking about. Long-term liability, $6.3 million. And 4.4 on the 2023 bond issue.
I was looking on somebody's sheet of paper, you're gonna see, I think it's $470,000 there on that highway bond. I looked at one of these packets before I got down there, and I thought I had it on mine. Right now, we have made 2 payments on the money from this project.
And I've got to
And we
make
got a
another.
grant that paid 80% of the water side. So there's $426,276.92 left owing on that bill. Right now, with what they said the other day, and we do not have a check yet, they wanted to give us Build Back Better money or whatever, that, not Build Back Better, what's the money they're trying to get rid of right now?
It's the Build Back Better.
It was the money before that.
Yeah, it was the American Rescue.
American Rescue money. They're gonna give us 80% of the sewer project, which is $470,000, roughly. So that loan's gonna be paid back, and we'll have a little bit of money left in the water and sewer account, because we've already made 2 years' payments on that note. And we got 80% of the water part paid for already. I mean, you're getting 80% of this paid for. So,
That's the one we took out for 0%.
that's when we took out 0%. It's still gotta be paid back first, because
That was the loan we had.
that's the loan you had with the highway department, took it out for 0%. So you're not paying interest on it, but we're gonna get the money back on this American Rescue money, because they turn you down on the sewer project first, and they can't get everybody to get these projects complete on time. If they don't get the money given to somebody, it's gonna go back to DC. I told them we'd sign it, we'd take it. So we will get somewhere in the neighborhood of $470,000 back, so that will pay that off, and that'll actually help for some of the money we've been spending on sewer this year. That'll actually make our money balance. We're gonna look good at the bottom of the list this year, fortunately, because the money we gonna have to borrow to do that, you're gonna get back, so we're $470,000, gonna be $470,000 better off than we thought on that line.
We'll look at the P&L, page 51, just for August. Looks like our income is up a little bit from August of last year. About 7,000, so.
We took a 2% or 3%?
2.
If you stayed even, you're 2% up is what you should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 0.
No, look at, you gotta look at water.
That's just for August.
Huh?
This is just for August, so I'm sure on year to date.
Water's about 70,000, sewer's about 110. Yeah. It'll be your day come here.
Next page.
Okay.
And this is simply August.
Yeah, that's what caught me off guard.
You're gone.
So we're, yeah, I would really look at the whole year, so we're on to the next.
Sorry.
So we're a little ahead on income again.
Y'all go back to 28, I'm just up on.
Everything looks to be tracking. Interest income is high by, 43,000.
Yeah.
Includes interest rate for that. Pretty easy to explain that. And you look at expenses. Chemicals are actually down a little bit, and they're 50,600, sewer chemicals are 9,200, so those are actually down from the year before.
Yeah, you don't buy those every month, so it's hard to, that's a bill that's hard to track monthly because you don't purchase chemicals every month.
Health insurance down. Interest expense on the sewer is higher, and, but the interest expense on water is a little lower. $40,000 difference total. The big numbers, big differences are water and sewer maintenance, mainly sewer. $370,000. Sewer maintenance.
We basically rebuilt the sewer plant and every lift station we had this year. Well, we got, I'll go through that list in a minute with you. If you wanna go through with where we are on the maintenance on all those.
That would explain the difference between net income.
Yeah.
So then we have, you can see water and sewer split out on the next page, page 52.
As we move on into this project, Jason, and the way we did the sales tax bond issue, because we didn't realize we were gonna get the sewer project too. We can only do bond issues on water projects. But the revenue of the water and sewer department are not tied to any debt service now. So we'll issue bonds on the water project. We still have money available on there. We'll have money available on water, even after that, because we're not gonna cap out. Because we got 75% forgiveness money. So, but what you will pay for your payment on sewer, when this all gets worked out, will be the income from water and sewer revenue, because water and sewer revenue is not tied to anything. As far as the debt goes, the way the bond issue, when we read the bonds, it's the way the lawyer wanted it done, because we didn't know we was gonna be able to do a sewer project, we had to tie the money up somewhere, and we tied it up in sewer and got water and it, so she said, this is gonna be fine, it's cleaner to do this way, but when we do the sewer part of the project, she will go in and do a bond issue that ties the payment of that to the revenue from both water and sewer income. So these, and Jason, this is one thing you need to get with natural resources and see how they're gonna set that up. Those have always been kept very strict apart, and I wish it stayed that way as far as income, so you can do your rates that way. But your money can be married now and not separate. The water and sewer department money can marry. We gotta see how natural resource wants that handled as we move into these bond issues with the attorney and all. And she'll tell you that we can move those together the way they did the bonds, because the water and sewer payment is tied to nothing in our bond issues. But all the money that the sales tax brings in is tied to the water bonds. Does that make sense?
The new bond.
The new bond, yeah. It used to be that it's tied to everything. We couldn't clean anything. To do these projects, we was 15 years out. So we had to get them cleaned up so it freed up the money so we could reborrow money without going up rates. And she left the, sales tax, the income of water and sewer to where it's not tied to anything, but it will be tied to the sewer project, the $4 million sewer project we're getting ready to do. Okay? And I am working, on the Act 605. Our rate study's done and complete, we're fine. But the legislative audit has come back in and now told on, your rate, your Act 605 study, and they have to have it to go on ours. I'm working on getting all that together. Don't have it all together yet, but getting it all together. You have to have every valve, every fire hydrant, every foot of pipe every building has gotta have a replacement cost value and a lifespan of what's on there. I'm working on, we've got all the buildings, cause we redid those with the insurance, so I've got that done. I do not have the pipe in the system done. And then he will attach that to our 605, our rate study. And that, we're fine, it's not gonna affect us any this year. And I hope with the way we're getting this money back in and out, and not tying up and getting all this repair made, 'cause like all the work you're doing in the sewer plant, we shouldn't have to rebuild any of that stuff we put stainless steel in for the next 75 years. I mean, so our maintenance, our next big expense after the sewer department should be for, I mean, you should replace a motor or a gear drive or something like that, but you're not gonna rebuild and clarify it. So, but, that will attach to our 605 rate study, and I'm gonna give them what we've already approved on the insurance values for the buildings. And I'm gonna just have to get, DJ and I are gonna go on the mapping that the city's got, and we're gonna pull the pipe, those pipe valves. And I asked Kyron, I said, I've looked at these that everybody's doing, and they're not putting the true stuff in there. Kyron said, Billy, let me tell you something, you ain't gonna be there but a few more years. He said, if you don't have that real number in there, if somebody comes up 10 years from now, and they've been looking at the wrong numbers, somebody's not gonna be happy with it. He said, you need to be as real as what they're asking for in the audit. He said, they are letting people slide with not good numbers. He said, I would not do that if I were y'all. He said, I'd rather it affect your rate in 3 years as come back in 15 years and need a 40% rate increase because somebody didn't do something right. So I'm gonna try to put our, cost in there and all that when we get in. I like the pipe, we've got the buildings, I just like the pipe and all that's put in. Okay? Working on that. All right.
Any questions?
All right, and then,
It's gonna be a lot easier, once we get this over, transferred over, it's gonna be a lot easier to type in the search bar and it show up relative, I mean, I know it's not gonna happen in November exactly, but next November, we'll be able to compare it to this last November, and we'll start creating an actual accessible track record that'll show us in almost pretty much real time what's up, right? So it'll be pretty easy to find where the holes in the boat's at.
Be easy to know where we're off and why, quicker, easier,
Yeah, sure.
that's the goal. Goals make everything
okay,
I'm with you, sir.
the next thing that y'all table, we wanna talk about, y'all still need to make up your mind on what y'all wanna do on this, is the fire department. And Brett's got 2 sets of expenditures that's gonna overspend him big time if you do either one of them. This is equipment and all here, and then he come to us with SCBA's, and we're gonna try to apply for a grant on SCBA's, but I don't know if we'll get it. And then y'all wanted to look at this quote and discuss it, so you could bring it back up to the council meeting. What he's asking for here in equipment's $32,900. Brenda, how much, Act 833, is that, not Act 833, what's his money?
Act 833.
Act 833, how much money has he got there?
Let's see,
33,920.
yeah, I think,
If you take his Act 833 money and buy this, then the SCBA's, we don't have funding, you know, spend this, we don't really have, he could tell us what he wants to spend Act 833 money on, and all we gotta do is approve it, because it's his money. So, that's a separate account than general fund, it doesn't come out of our general fund. Is that what you want to use on that, if you do that, and then work on CBA some other way?
That's not the last, Act 833 check, right?
no,
got
there'll
one
be
more
another one,
for you.
it'll probably come in January, but it'll go with this
What's more
month.
important here,
This-
the SCBA's or this right here?
Well, they can't fight fire if they ain't got.
Yeah, but look at,
I mean,
Which
you
one
also
are you?
can't go in a fire without an SCBA.
I've got some. I mean, that's,
I understand, but
Yeah.
our understanding is it fixing to go out of date, correct?
yeah.
Y'all gotta tell me.
What
how-
happened, dog? I mean, didn't we just get uniforms 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
He didn't buy everybody uniforms. Not everybody got them.
This is the last of them.
And everybody that's got uniforms certified, we're not giving out just because they're on the fire
You know,
department.
I do not give them turnouts until they are.
So how many full-time, how many officers you got certified right now?
Firefighters?
Yep, they're certified with uniform.
Probably 17. Around
Every one of them
17.
certified.
How many actually show up though?
That's the thing, is you don't know who's gonna show up, so you can have, this guy will have turnouts, and this person don't show up, this person doesn't have turnouts, and they're gonna show up. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you don't know who you're gonna get.
What we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to start only letting people volunteer that weigh from 180 to 190.
Oh my God. 5'10".
5'10", we're 34 pounds. So,
All right.
we need to put that on our next application.
There is an extra on there, I think, I showed Chris.
I'm still trying to weigh out what's more important here.
Johnny,
because
that way the one that shows up.
Either which way, you're gonna be, that's it right here. Your total was.
32,000 in this.
Right there.
$3,900, the blitz fire monitor, and there's two monitors on there, cause I wanted a price on both of them.
So we're back down to 27.
Yes.
You're taking out the 3,900
Yes, sir.
monitor if you get that.
So we're back down to 27 something.
That's only.
Or 28
$32,000.
something, sorry.
You can buy this, or you can buy, where were we at in budget with fire department? Did you see where we
I
at? I
couldn't-
think we
I
about
couldn't-
spent everything.
I couldn't really tell what your actual fire department number was. Brendan, you know that off the top of your head?
Not on the monitor.
Well,
city
I'm,
side.
I'm looking at each line item, you're pretty close on most of them, we have, let me see, the supplies were out of whack on them. Because
I think we're about out of money in the budget on fire department.
yeah,
On supplies.
But this Act 33 money is not spent, so he can either buy this or you
a lot
can
of
go
your
by
stuff
your
that you
SCBA's.
put in supplies.
Somebody needs to
a lot of
determine what is the
things,
most
because you have
important,
to
and you'll vote on it at the
somewhere
next
to put
council.
it.
It's not
How many- how many-
possible to split the two.
How many sets does this give
Yeah,
you?
we went over
Four,
our
five?
vehicle expense, right here, 10,000.
Where did we spend
Brett, what was the
I
cost?
can print it off individually.
Yeah.
What if you bought half the SCBA's and cut back on half of this equipment?
I can do that.
I mean, it's only gonna get you 2 sets, but I mean,
Maybe they'll inspect the one.
What do y'all wanna tell them to do, guys? And you
well,
vote
I
on-
mean,
Y'all vote on it next meeting.
I don't want people out there that's not, that doesn't have equipment, you know what I mean? But at the same time, if we can start getting some SCBA stuff,
We're gonna be able to,
That was the only thing, that's why I haven't bought any.
Do we have
Who's- this is from
do we have a
Delta?
$10,000 CD in there to buy, or is that just?
For vehicle, y'all.
Is this
y'all
the only
earmarked
place you
vehicle.
check with, or is this who we have to go with?
No, it's.
I didn't think
They're,
so.
right now, they're probably the better price out of everybody. I can get quotes from everybody else, I'm more than happy to do that. We quit going with Casco because the guy that did take care of us, that used to size us and all that,
Yeah.
he has kind of dropped the ball, and I guess he's not working as much as he was, and now you can't get any communication out of him. For a while, I was getting Catagaps turnouts.
so have you already had these guys signed?
Yes,
What's the total to do it all right?
Well, you're $70,000 when you're in this.
I mean, one was 28,000.
I thought it was 80.
80, something like that.
Hey, that's, you're over $100,000, you're $109,000.
Do it all.
Well, if you want the SCBA's and all this right here, yeah.
Yeah, but if we cut the SCBA's, we could cut them back
To 40.
to 40.
You ain't got.
And then we-
Yeah, if you go 40,000, you're out of money.
Yeah.
I mean, we could order the
I'm just trying to
$30,000
figure out if we
worth
can
of
find a happy medium
SCBA's,
of some sort.
and then buy this stuff little by little with the checks that we get. I mean, that's,
So these are officers that need them?
Can the city clean up?
When you put police, firemen need them? Or is replacing
those
something?
are members that do not have this, or, turnouts. And then there's shells in there for the ones that aren't fighting fire. I can take them off and I can put them in wall down here, but it, I mean, it's not.
They just can't touch a hose.
Yeah.
They're gonna stay back in the truck and pump,
Yeah.
or get you whatever you need, they just can't go in. That's just all there is to it. They can clean up, and they can roll out.
Yeah.
I mean, the fire department's volunteer, right? I'm just-
Very, very correct.
You are smarter on this than I am, but they are volunteer, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, and the city, contributes very little to have a fire department.
I'm not picking on anything, but when I took over here, the city for 4 years had put nothing but real fire dues in the fire department.
Okay, that's where I'm headed with it. Whenever we would do the budget, whenever, I don't want to call names, when I would be sitting there looking at it, there'd be nothing allotted in our fire department, trying to get our budget to balance so we can get it passed on February the 2nd or whatever it will. So,
You hadn't voted
my
anything.
thoughts are, and I may be odd man out, but my thoughts are, if you're gonna send somebody in to fight a fire, you want them to have the right stuff,
Well, they need their PPE. That's
and
just
they need
all
their
there is to it.
PPE, and if it was my kid, or whatever that I was sending into a fire, I'm gonna say we find the money and do it the right way.
How much longer do you have on your CBAs?
My thoughts.
Probably a year.
A year. So we're a year out on it. And what did you get in Act 833?
This year, I mean,
For 4
Well,
years, we were funded, not funded.
So far,
See, we
I've
did-
only got
We're basically paying
12,000.
for our
That's
sins,
three
is what it amounts to.
That's, you're paying for this every department you turn into.
Billy, let me ask you this, what if we got
Well,
current?
I'm expecting
what if we
another
done
check.
what we
I'll
need
have to
to
look
get
and see.
current? And
And
then
then,
said,
we'll
we're
get
gonna
one in
split it up,
January, but
we're gonna
I have to
budget
tie it back.
X number of
Tie it
dollars
back
for
to
the
this
next
year.
4
Yes.
years
Yep.
to recover this.
We got quite a bit of someone else's
Is
money.
that
You don't,
something, could we?
if
We
you
don't
wanna go
mention
over
that.
budget,
So you got 20?
you can't do this, you can't
It's
keep
usually
doing
between,
this.
what,
If you
20
wanna go over
and
budget
26
and buy that,
is is
you reserve it and what much reserve, how much money we got in city general overall. You're gonna bust your budget, and you have to amend the budget at the end of the year, and you're gonna be over your 100% expenditure. You can take out of your reserve and, I didn't say do that, that's something y'all gotta discuss what you wanna do. But if you wanna fund them and catch back up, you got some money in general. You can't keep going to general and doing this again. You could do it one time, and you're gonna be over budget. You're gonna have to you're gonna amend the budget anyway, you amend the budget every year, but you're gonna be, whatever you do here, you're gonna be over budget, you just have to take it out of your city general.
My point is, it's not their fault that for 4 years, I mean, I say 4 years, I don't know.
It's been
about
more
all-
than that.
It's been more than that.
I know the years that I've been here 4 years on this part of the city, but basically we were contributing nothing to it other than what you said, the rural fire dues.
Real fire
And
dues.
We got a nice
reserve.
fire department, and, you know, if it was my kid or my family, or whatever, I want to send them the right. I say we do the right stuff, we rob the money out of general, and we figure out how we're gonna put it back in there over time. Would be my gut.
The only way you could ever gain back in city general is just, instead of spending 90%, you spend 80% till you catch up in your budget, and y'all can do that, I mean,
Well,
you'll be overline,
They
you
can
could,
amend the budget, you
Huh?
can amend the budget to purchase this if you wish. But when you amend the budget, you know, you're gonna be over when you amend your
Right.
budget. But you have to be balanced when you do your budget, does that,
Right?
your
Yeah.
expense, just remember that, you can amend the budget to purchase this.
What do we have? You've got enough right now to do
We
this.
can get this budget.
But we,
And then my other
voted
check.
on and approved by that.
That's the only reason I went ahead and did it, because I've been waiting to buy that hose for a while. But I wanna make sure we were sitting okay. You know, if I have a breakdown or something like that, you know what I mean?
When's your CBA start expiring?
next
Some
year.
of them have already
Yeah, I've
expired.
got
Yeah.
one,
We got some stuff on the truck that's
That's
expired.
right, let's do the ones we got.
We don't want him out of the fund that he has.
Correct.
Budget him some money.
Correct.
2025, get him
Correct.
close on his SCBA.
Yes.
He don't have to amend those.
Right. That's what we're looking for right there.
You can make it through the end of the year with the SCBA's that you have. It's still
Yeah.
not compliant.
That's good.
He's gotta allocate some money.
That's what we're looking for. is that-
And we did allocate some
$80,000.
money this year, but we spent maintenance.
Yeah.
And I hope that doesn't,
And that's the thing.
of course, we don't have any trucks out there. We're gonna have
Have
maintenance.
y'all,
We gotta put it
have
in
y'all
the
gone
truck.
through and you've got records now to where anything that's got expirations on it, you've got it logged on the computer somewhere and stuff like that?
Trying to get everything
So
wrong.
I say we.
Because
do this.
before this happens again,
Yes.
we need
I need to know.
2 years.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So we can start planning way ahead for this.
Well, that's,
I think it'll be all right.
the thing with like,
It's the money there.
FEMA.
That's not really in our budget,
Yeah.
but it is in your
And
budget,
SCBA,
you looked at that,
every
on your
city,
sheet, you
every
got that
company
next
has-
33 sheets. He gets that
And even
every
if you've
month.
got
And we
year-old
don't, we're not every month,
SCBA, you
every
have
2
to
months or
replace
3
your
months.
SCBA.
Every 3 months.
So I didn't want to.
Fact, they
you know,
33
buy a
is
couple
probably
here,
not
buy a
on
couple
this
there, and
It's
then
in
turn
your
around. And have to
Because that
replace
would be
them, and I guess I could sell them.
And we don't ever know what that is,
You know what I
it's not
mean?
our money to spend, so it's
Yeah, we're
not,
not in the SBA. so
we're not
we
gonna
don't-
sit there and do a 90% allocation back there for 3 money, cause it's not our money.
In your fund,
And, well, I'm sorry,
in your fund, how much do you have in?
33,920.
You can buy that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll put that on there, we'll do the quote for that, and then we'll work on your SCBA's next year. First of the year, we'll look in the budget real quick.
That's brilliant, that works perfect.
Okay, we've discussed, and I don't care, this is not in the budget either. Generator, and if you don't wanna do the generator, I'm gonna throw it away. I was asking quote, the quote hooked up with electric run is 32,595.68. If you don't get the electric run and we run gas, it's 27,552.16, plus we gotta get the gas line. And I don't have an exact cost on that, but I would think that's gonna be pretty, close to the same money.
I think that we need the generator. Chris, what do you think?
What is it gonna take to run that building? The smaller one ought to run it just fine, correct?
You can't run the smaller one because you got electric heat in
Then why is it here?
it. Well, if you run one unit, you could run it on one unit, it's just, and it'll run both air conditioners.
I'm just saying, what's this doing in here if it won't even help us? The whole thing. So we need to do the RS-50.
50 kilowatt.
I'm with him, let's do the most affordable that we can
I
kind
mean,
of
that's
get
what, I mean, whenever it comes down to it, that's gonna be my vote, if that's the case. Because if this is not gonna help us,
We got to turn off one heat on
Yeah,
we don't need it.
yeah. That'd be my vote too.
Okay, so I'll put that in there for, y'all wanna break, y'all want that.
What's your thoughts, Johnny, Jenny?
And you do realize this is not a budgeted item, this will come out of city.
Yes.
Well, no, this is gonna come out of, that bill of water and sewer.
it.
Yes.
Okay,
There's some things though, it's just like, there's some things that, like, if we have,
that's the original.
Billy, if we have a pump go out and it's $1 million, we figure out how to do it, and they're whatever. But, you know, when it comes like to the safety equipment for our police or fire people or whatever else, it's kind of one of the deals, you just have to do the best you can and find the money somewhere else because, you know, it's, you know.
Minority.
Anyway,
Next item up, at the city park and all over town. All of the streetlights now are either metal halide or mercury vapor. The energy is not going to replace the bulbs in those fixtures anymore. This sheet right here, it should be, I meant to have it in every sheet, I didn't, I meant to, is our electric bill for our lights. If you look at the first top, right now you're paying $2.90 a month rent on the light fixture. And then if you look on down there, that 336, blah, 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 all those other costs down there is your electric bill. Okay? That electric bill ain't going down because that's based on an average of what they figure. That's not on actual usage. But your cost for the new lights, if you look at this sheet right here, that we're gonna have to go to if we keep all of our city street lights up, is $5.80 a month. For the little lights, $6.19 for the next size up.
Yeah, we got some of that's 400.
Well, the 400s are gonna, you gotta go on down there, and the 400s are gonna be 1502, and they're 741. It's basically doubling. And they're gonna be LED lights, and they're gonna go up on the lights, or you cannot have street lights.
We have this many, we have 136.
Keep on looking.
Plus 8, 13, 40, yeah, that many things.
We got a bunch.
That's how many street lights we're talking. Now then, I have to do, they're not going, if you notice in town, there's a lot of street lights not getting fixed. Now, I went over there to the city park, and we did a project here 2 or 3 years ago working on the drainage. That's what we did. We tore the conduits out for all of our underground street lights over there in the city park. They're not working.
Do what?
Yeah, we put drainage in to get the drainage problem fixed, and we tore the street lights.
Who did that?
I don't know. I'm just telling you, conduits are laying on top of the ground over there.
Oh, my God.
So I need to know if y'all want us, those are our poles. And Energy put lights back on them because those were the poles that were downtown Glenwood and the poles that were downtown Amity. And we put them back up over there, and Energy hooked them back up, and they're running electricity to them. We can either reroute it and put our own. Street, LED light is somewhere around $100 for these that are costing you $5.80 a month. Maybe $120, and then you're gonna have to pay the electricity bill, but you're paying the electricity bill down here. I've got to be able, y'all gotta tell me, we'll vote on this too, but, we need to discuss what way y'all wanna go. We can take some lights out, we keep all the lights in, we gotta pay, our budget's gonna go up, will be $3,000 a year, a month, instead of $1,600 in our budget next year.
If we stick with them,
Well, you're gonna have to stick with them on the street lights that are in the
Yeah,
street.
yes.
The ones in the
The
park,
is a little bit different.
the ones in the park, if y'all wanna do different, we can take those over. That's, y'all need to tell us what, for me to tell them to do. This is something that caught me totally on the blind side, and I got off the phone with the gentleman last week, and he said Energy is too, you know, they've replaced some lights with LED. There's a contractor doing that, and he's not supposed to do that. And he got his hands slapped,
So
he
they
said,
maintain them right now?
they'll maintain them, yeah, they maintain them. Bub goes out there, fix them. That $2.90 a month. They're supposed to be maintaining these lights we got, but they're not gonna fix any more mercury vapor or metal halide. Period.
Okay, what I'm getting at is if they're supposed to be doing it now and they don't, why are they gonna do it if we change it?
Because they're gonna make you go to LED. And to put LED in, they're gonna get $6 a month. And they're not gonna change, if you look around town, some of these lights have been changed to LED already, and the contractor has put some LED in, and they come back to the service deal and looked at their service deal and said, what are you doing putting LEDs in? There ain't no LEDs in Glenwood. Well, he's already put, if you go around town, there's some of them that's already changed.
Here's what I'm thinking, is, I'm thinking the reason the LED operates a lot cheaper, and they're offsetting it by charging more per unit.
I don't think your total electric cost is covered down here in this electric bill. This is a formula rate plan, it's got a number, that's what they think it's costing on. I don't know why they're going to, cause their electric consumption is gonna be a third, a tenth of what they're.
By light, is it labeled light poles?
Yep. Anything that's got an SL number on the pole, SL,
Yeah.
whatever, that's a street light. If you go up and look at, there won't be a city street light that's not turned out in the street. If there's a light on a pole against the street that's turned off the street, that's not ours. It won't have an SL number.
Like
Somebody-
the, right beside my house in Methodist Church, that light, is the
Yeah.
parking lot, they pay for that.
Oh, correct.
Y'all just need me to, I can get with Energy and get, they will come and do a survey for us and change them all, get a contractor to start changing them all out, if that's what you wanna do. But if y'all need to think on this, we can,
One thing.
I need this discussed
But
at the
that
council
bill's,
meeting.
that
and tell
bill's
me what
gonna
to do.
triple,
Huh?
that bill's gonna triple if we go to them.
That bill's gonna go from $2.90 on those and 36 ones to 580. And then the rest of that down through there is gonna stay the same.
Really, this is just something for us to think about, but we're having a hard time maintaining the things we got. Us
This is maintaining the things we got.
Huh? What?
This is maintaining, we're not looking for any new lights, we're just looking if you're gonna keep street
I'm
lights
just
got
saying,
on.
we're having a hard time maintaining the lights that we got. I don't know that we wanna take this project away from energy and start taking care of it ourselves.
Well,
The only
thing
things you
take
can
out
take
would be
away
the
from
park.
energy would strictly be the lights in the park.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about, we're already tweaking in every respect, but that's just a thought, something to think on.
I don't
I ain't
think we
sure
have
which
much
way I
of a choice, as far as my opinion, I don't think we have much of a choice to do the ones that have turned out to be in the street, that's just me, I mean, I'm just one person. But I do see the park putting on ourselves.
I can
Sorry.
see that with LED. No, I can see us doing that with LED, but not with the mercury. ones
Mercury
that
vapor,
run
well, there's
exact
mercury
here.
vapor or metal halide in the park
In
right
the
now,
park,
they have to
right
be
now.
changed.
Yeah, they'll have to be changed.
We're gonna have to, if we take them over, we're gonna change them to LED, or if they take them
We still
over,
have a lifespan of what, 6, 7 years?
15 years supposedly. Now, if you take there's about 15 fixtures total in the park,
Yeah, around about.
maybe 10 that would take over, cause the ones that are on the
Some
street,
of
we
them-
would
you
take.
got
You
them on
got
the
some on the
street,
street.
Yeah.
In the-
Probably 10 lights is what we're talking about, you take 10 lights off this bill, cause those are.
So you're talking about saving $60 a month?
But then you're gonna, yeah, you're gonna.
You have to make the consumption in.
Yeah, then you're gonna have your electric consumption. This should come down based on how many of these there are, that's a formula. It's not an exact kilowatt hour, cause they don't measure it, but it's,
But each one of these, like
What
the
they think
400
is-
is gonna go up to
the 400's gonna go up, the 400 is,
number one, the last one.
is 741 and the 400 is gonna go 1502. They will come in and do an audit, and really we need an audit, to me, we need to do a clean sweep one time. We need to do an audit, cause I don't know how many of these lights are out there and how many of them are not. They will come in and do an audit, she said.
How much wood
And,
is that? It's gonna,
well, cause we may have could have 5 lights more than what we've been billed for, could have 5 lights less than what we've been billed for. I don't think they know. Exactly. Through the years, this has been a good number, and if you've added lights and took lights away, they put them on and taken them off, and this, you haven't had an audit of your street lights here ever.
Let's get one.
They will audit it, and then if you tell them to audit, if you tell them to audit, then they'll come in and upgrade everything to LED. So,
Okay.
if that's what y'all wanna do, we'll put that on the council and we'll vote on
they'll
that.
handle all of it, right?
You know, other than if, you need to tell me,
We just have to make
if you wanna make up your mind in the park, what you wanna do.
Yeah.
I'll be quiet, here's something I did on my own today.
I mean, surely.
We're gonna have a high price sale at the total surplus. I bought 30 new 4-foot poles today, 40 foot, 39 foot and 6 inch, for $75 a pole. And then they're gonna charge us $336 to bring them down here, we'll put them back and use them for, start putting poles in where we want, but you're not gonna buy 40-foot light poles for anywhere near $75. They're brand new, they're steel poles.
Are they the octagons?
They're the ones that's like that big gun at the bottom,
Yeah.
They come with their round?
Octagon, yeah.
but they're like probably an 18-inch base, and when you get to the top of that 40 foot, they're probably 4 inches.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a one-time shot at them,
They're about 2,000, it depends on how high you get them and how strong they are.
40 foot.
Yeah, the insides are hollow, so you can put your wires
Right.
inside. Yeah.
So we got 30 of those coming. That was in a bundle, and they wanted to sell a bundle. And they said he'd charge me $336 rent. So we're gonna be able to do, to me, the city park, as we move on with it, we need to be able to light it ourselves.
Yeah.
And we can light it a lot cheaper than buying a pole, cause you're gonna have to pay pole rent if they put a pole out there, you're gonna have to start paying pole rent, here we own the poles, so. So that's got that discussed.
You can have that extra,
Okay, I had another packet somewhere.
So I've got several.
Okay, now somewhere I messed up, I ain't got the plug. Okay, if y'all remember, we approved $123,000 on the playground, park,
that's just natural.
okay? I took out the gravel, that was $3,000, and I took out the deal and took the grant down to the project down to $120,788.77. What I did not figure on, and y'all are gonna have to tell me what you wanna do, we have the check for the playground equipment, $99,430, we got it, it's here. We have the $1,000 check from the Optimus
Yes.
Club that paid on the park, so we've got $100,430.
Just the numbers right here, top corner.
Yep. Okay, the playground we all had picked out was $123,000, it had dirt in it, we're gonna haul the SB2 ourselves. That's 3 loads, we can haul that, there's no even paying $3,000 and paying the engineer and Karen 6% of that, cause we can haul that ourselves. And then I took the chime set out, that was took it down $120,783, and we'd agreed to put $15,000 in it from the city already. What I was not doing, Frank's, because you had to have an engineer in it, it's $9,000, now that's down a little bit, but basically $9,700, and Karen's getting $8,000. So, we're gonna have the expense from Karen and A.L. Franks, because they both get their finger in the pie on this project. We're gonna be over what we had budgeted, so you'll need to talk about that tonight, and we'll vote on it in council meeting.
17,930.
So you're gonna be out about 5,000 on equipment more than we thought, plus the 8,000 and the 9,000, another
It's
19,000.
That's just for these.
So I did not,
So fine.
So we're gonna be 22,000
Yeah.
short
Yeah.
roughly.
and if you don't wanna do that, you gotta go up there and tell me what piece of equipment you wanna take out.
Which one's 20,000? Take out the structure.
Shit, I mean, they got the playground equipment. The problem with
We
this
already
is,
agreed to do 15, right?
we agreed that we're gonna be over budget, cause we spent a lot of money on getting the parks fixed back up already. You had to put a roof on a building, we spent,
But I'm saying, we agreed to do 15.
we agreed to do 15.
So is that 15, does that leave us 7,000 short?
That would be short here.
Okay, then, I say let's leave it alone and do it.
There's really not, the problem with this thing is, look at the two, you got $28,000 worth of playground equipment in one line up there, and then down here, the mat that goes under is $16,000 and $18,000.
Gotta have that to get the grant.
Right, so you're spending over half of your money, that's why parks put the mulch in, because half of your money on your playground is spent on your mat.
Well, also.
And you can't go around that.
You think we can get them to offload, our guys to offload the equipment, we get this?
We're only $7,000 different.
Does this kind of private customer unload it?
Well, we're gonna do that, but that's already taken out of your price.
Grant.
Or does not include site preparation or
Site preparation's finished. And we gotta put a sidewalk in to do it, because the stuff that we've got from the mill, from the treatment plant, they won't allow it, but we can do that in the street.
And I was gonna ask you, you have to have the turf, there's no other
Get a car
ground you can put.
nowadays.
That's your option.
That's what I want.
There's not a playground like that around here anywhere. This is gonna be the mat on this is gonna be a super nice playground. Your bigger towns use it all the time. And if you look at the mat, man, that's a 20-year warranty or expected life on those things. You go over there and look at the park, I've put bark or whatever you call it, mulch, in our beds twice this year. Go over and look at them right now. Where the swings are over there, looks like they put anything in all year. It's taken 3 times a year to put that stuff in them, and it just goes, I don't know where it goes. And those kids are just bagging it up and taking it home with them. I don't think you're doing that, but, so,
So did the fall into that?
yeah, it'd be good fire bed.
Yeah. And then when the mud comes in, it
All right.
just muds it in.
Hey,
Y'all got-
if we're only 7,000, okay, if we was already gonna do 15,000, then we're only 7,000 away from doing what we originally started out to do, right or wrong?
You're right, but we've had more expense at the playground this year than we had thought we were gonna have. That's what's getting us.
That's what's needed.
Where's the 7,000 gonna come from?
It's gonna come out of the money that's in general that's hitting there. That we moved over, we're gonna have to, something suffer this year and something else will go away. You can move that money that you put in those 3 accounts that you're moving over that's hitting general.
Yeah.
All that's not being spent. You can move, okay, I spend a little more, that's what we discussed, I can spend a little more on park this year than I spend on the dog pound, or it's gonna hit city general budget.
Yeah.
And that's the tightest budget we have. We're not, where we at in the budget look like on general, overall for the year.
Expenses are pretty well on schedule. A little under on income, but we talked about that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put our dogs on Sure Phone.
Put them on diet.
Oh, jeez.
Okay,
Yellow label price.
y'all don't have to tell me that, y'all have to make your mind up on this before the council meeting, cause you're gonna have to decide what you're gonna, whatever you wanna do, it's up to you guys. While y'all are thinking on that,
Hey,
uh,
Rhonda, can you zip that out?
the,
That was him.
sawmill,
He would hear that.
lift station, it's got one pump that's blowing by. All the stuff that, the company out of Little Rock come and put in, he cut holes and all that, and you got sewer gas coming up there eating your wires out. That's gonna all have to be reworked. Next week, TJ's crew's gonna bore the water line that's leaking for the sawmill, the mill's gonna be down, and TJ's gonna fix that lift station. He spent $4,500 worth on parts already on that, and that's gonna be some more there. Y'all will approve, in the council meeting, 32,000 and 12,000 more on rebuilding clarifier number 2, which should be back in service hopefully by the weekend. I don't think he'll make the weekend, but he's real close. The contact chamber, the new valves there, we got about $5,000 we're spending there. So we got another valve that locks up there. There ain't nothing that sewer plant ain't been reworked. Everything we don't fix, it's breaking down. So, the biggest part of our expense on water and sewer, you've got, Davis got a pump down. We've got a pump out at the industrial park that's already paid for, that y'all knew about, it's not put in yet, so you have expense to put it in, the pumps come in. Anything else y'all got to discuss tonight? That's pretty much the coverage of what I had. They'll have everything ready for whenever y'all set the council meeting. There's no need, basically, there's no need trying to wait on another financial statement to come in between now and then. Y'all won't have it till the end of the month.
I'm good Monday, Tuesday.
So y'all need to pick a night for the next council.
I go back to work Wednesday.
I think Tuesday on Friday.
Yeah, we can't choose it. Everybody look, tell me what night you wanna set the council.
Monday, I'm gonna do everybody else can.
Huh?
Monday's not only that, I go back to work Wednesday. I'm off Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Y'all wanna do it towards the latter part of the month, or when do y'all wanna do it? I don't care.
Oh, y'all got someone to do next week.
No, we just we've been doing the council meetings towards the end of the month.
Okay.
Whenever y'all wanna have them, you got the financials here, anytime we have another set of financials ready for, you don't have them ready till after the end of the month, will you?
Johnny, when are you gonna be on?
I don't have any activity going for a couple days. So I'm pretty good.
My schedule shows I'm off the week 14, 15, 16.
Wait, we're Is October 14th, is that?
That's a Monday night.
It's Monday night, that'll be all right, everybody?
On me, yes, sir.
I'm good with it. Morning.
October 14th, 6 o'clock, everybody?
Probably the-
Is there a problem with that, anybody?
No, Columbus is already dead anyway.
October 14th, 6 o'clock. All right. Oh.